Welcome to the Conversation Colons podcast. I'm your host, Damien, my co-host, Jared.
What's up?
What's up? We took a break last week being Thanksgiving, which already seems so long ago.
I know.
It I can't believe that literally a week ago was Thanksgiving. But
Yeah, it's been 7 days. Fuck.
yeah,
Holy shit.
we hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you went Black Friday shopping, or if like you were looking for something, you got it. Not I hope that you went Black Friday shopping, but if you're looking for like a TV, a PS5, an Xbox Series X, hopefully you got it. It's been rough out
Yeah.
there. But before we go on to our brewskis of the week, I do have an announcement that Jared doesn't even know about.
What?
The podcast is sponsored by Rogue Energy. If you want 10% off Rogue Energy drinks, you can use code INNOVATE, so INNOVATE, and you can get 10% off your order. There you go. So Jared,
How
let's
dare you?
go ahead and go into our brewskis of the week.
All right. So this week I'm rocking one of my favorites that I had back in the summer. First time. I decided to pick them up again because I fucking love it so much. It is a Mike's Hard Tangerine Lemonade. Fucking love it. Don't know why it's labeled limited edition, but I found a ton of it, so that's what I'm rocking. How
Yeah,
about yourself?
I got one of those Mike's Harder. I think that's what they're called.
In the cans?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, not bad. I just got the normal
What
flavor,
flavor?
just the normal one.
Oh, just regular lemonade. Those are
Yeah.
good. They're just since they're a little
Now, do they
harder.
have
I
pink
don't like having
lemonade
as many of them.
ones?
I don't know. If
That'd
they
be
do, I
dope.
think it might be limited edition. Because if they have pink lemonade ones, then I'm fucking ruined. But
Right. Alrighty. Well, this is going to be our music and well, actually, I should like formally introduce it. Welcome to the second annual music/movies award show. Conversation Cole once presents. Right. Last
yeah.
year, I think we gave. Well, we didn't do music last year. But last year I think we gave movie of the year to The Lighthouse, I believe.
Oh fuck, man! I can't remember. We should have wrote
Yeah.
that down if we were going to talk about it.
But yeah, so we're gonna start off with music first. We would like to go ahead and apologize. With COVID being a thing, the movie section isn't as like in depth as last year's, just because there's not really to go off of. And so even with music and movies, you'll see a lot of repeat people who are in there, or movies or albums, and that's just because that's what we're working with. But they are the best stuff.
And to add on to that, since it is going to be a little bit less than what it normally would be due to COVID, if there's anything you think we're going to miss here, or anything you think that we have missed once we're done, in both music and movies,
Yeah.
shout us out, say something, and if it's a big enough deal, we'll bring it up in the next episode.
Yep.
Also, just to clarify as well, we are not doing games; we are only doing music and movies in
Yes.
this episode.
So games, if I look at my spiffy little calendar, our game award show should be. So Cyberpunk comes out next week,
Christ.
on Wednesday night.
Hopefully.
So to kind of go ahead and like say, so next week the podcast is going to be our Cyberpunk predictions. So we'll be recording that right before Cyberpunk comes out, and then we posted Friday. I would like to have our game show posted on Christmas Day. So whenever we record that, have it on Christmas Day.
I mean,
if not the first of the year.
I don't think it would be a problem for us to do games. As a matter of fact, I think it'd probably be better for us to do games on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And save a like a end of the year.
Yeah, kind of like
block or
recap, kind of
whatever.
maybe like a Q&A.
Yeah.
We'll maybe try to get so yeah.
Recap like our biggest episodes, are maybe most watched, talk about that stuff, and then go into like a small Q&A.
Yeah.
It's all up
Yep.
in the air at the moment.
So yeah, if you want to go ahead and start sending us questions, let us know. So we're gonna start off with music here. I want to start with the bad and go to the like best. So Jared, we'll start with the bottom category in music. So the one my mouse is on.
Yeah, most overrated album.
Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and go through all the nominees and announce the winner.
All of the nominees.
There's 3.
Alrighty, so for our most overrated album nominees, we've got Eminem with Music to Be Murdered By. We've got Pop Smoke, The Woo 2, and we've got Taylor Swift, Folklore.
Okay.
Okay, those
What
are our nominees.
do you want to announce the winner?
Oh, I thought you said you would.
No, no, no.
That's my bad. Uh, and the winner for the most overrated album is going to be Taylor Swift with Folklore.
Yeah, so I would like to talk about these nominees real quick. So I put Eminem's Music to Be Murdered By here because that album got a lot of praise by Eminem fans, saying like Eminem's back. But that album is fucking trash. Besides the song Godzilla, and I think Eminem has been out of his prime since Recovery, and just has not made any good music since.
Mhm.
Pop Smoke, The Woo 2. I've never seen an artist more overrated than him right now. I know he's dead, but God, do we have to fucking listen to his trash ass songs on the radio? But I think Taylor Swift wins. I think she's one of the most overrated artists of our lifetimes. I think early
Fair.
on in her career, she was a very good pop artist with like Blank Space, 22, shit like that. But the past few years, man, she's gotten away with putting out mediocre stuff, and her stands just supporting her. And I
You know,
go ahead.
I was going to say real quick while we're on the topic of her, one of your ex-girlfriends has a haircut
Oh, I
completely
know, I saw.
modeled. Okay. Completely,
Yeah, I know.
completely
Just
copying
like
Taylor
her.
Swift. And she's had it for a while. Like she's kept up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scary shit, man. Those stands stand hard.
That's a good I don't think everyone's ever said that to me. Your ex-girlfriend has a little ring to it, you know?
Oh, Jesus. Don't get used to it.
I'm sure there'll be another X soon. I'm just joking.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hope she
No,
doesn't listen to these.
she doesn't, thank God. I'm just joking, by the way. If she does listen, please don't yell at me. So yeah, I just think she's very overrated. I think a lot of her songs sound samey. I think she has a talent for writing good lyrics, but
Yeah.
I just think on this album especially, the lyrics are super bland and stuff we've heard from her before, and musically and sonically, the fucking album sucks. But we'll go ahead and move on. We have worst album of the year, and we have Justin Bieber's Changes, Taylor Swift Folklore, and Selena Gomez's Rare. And the winner for us for that one is Justin Bieber Changes. Coming, I think this is also the most disappointing album because coming from Purpose, his 2015 album, which I thought was really good. I actually liked a lot of songs in there, and especially like a lot of those songs were the biggest of his career, like Sorry, What Do You Mean, and there was another big one. But yeah, and like that was a solid album, and then going to this with songs like Yummy, like it just doesn't compete. Taylor Swift's on here, like we just talked about. Selena Gomez's Rare, one of the I think it was the first like main album to come out this year. I don't like this album besides 2 songs, and the rest of the album's fucking trash. She has a good Kid Cudi feature. After that, the fucking album's trash.
Pretty much.
Have you listened to any 3 of those albums? I know you've heard the Selena Gomez song.
I've heard a couple of Selena Gomez. I've heard, I think, one of Taylor Swift's songs in her album. I don't remember which one it was because I don't listen to her often. It was like earlier when it came out, and probably not from Justin Bieber, unless I have heard it and didn't know. But it's not something I actively looked for.
Okay, I'll do album of the year, and then you can do the final one, song of the year.
Bet.
So album of the year. Now I would like to preference. Me and Jared, we listen to like rap, country, like some rock, but we don't go into a lot of the genres. So if there's a lot of albums that are missing out that came this year, we just probably didn't hear it. So first is Mac Miller Circles, his album after he died. Post Malone's Hollywood Bleeding. Machine Gun Kelly's Tickets to My Downfall. The Weeknd After Hours. Jesus is King by Kanye West. Now this album came out last year, but it falls into like this year how they rank them. And then Kelsea Ballerini, because self-titled albums are dope, apparently. The winner is Mac Miller Circles. I think the second one would be Post Malone's or MGK's album. Mac Miller Circles, like it took a while to grow on me, but like going back and listening to it, because I went back and listened to a lot of these over time, over the past few weeks, especially like the emotion that that album has. I think a lot of the songs like "Hand Me Down," "Good News" are just phenomenal. I think is best. It's Mac Miller's best album since Blue Side Park, which is a shame because he passed away and will no longer give us good music. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's all I can say for that category. I mean, Tickets to My Downfall is probably the best like punk rock album of the year. Post
Yeah.
Malone's, you could put his album in the rock category. He has the Ozzy Osbourne feature. A lot of the songs like go off a rock type of feel. The Weekend After Hours is definitely like an 80s kind of album. Jesus is King is the best gospel album of the year. And then Kelsey Ballerini is probably the best country album of the year. I haven't listened to it, but I know she's
I would
fucking
say one of
popular.
the better ones.
Yeah.
Not the best, but it's one of the better ones. And the only reason that it's even like in album of the year is because it's only one of the ones that I've listened to.
Yeah. I know she's fucking huge though.
Oh
Very
my god, she's
popular.
so big right now.
She
I
hot.
think I mean
All right.
uh I think that I don't quote me on this, but I think that this album we've talked about here has like her biggest song that came out this year, but I cannot remember. It might have been her other one, but
Okay.
I don't pay. I see. Here's the thing. I like songs. I listen to songs, and I sometimes remember the name of songs. I don't albums. I just cannot remember the name of. I don't remember what song came out in what album. That's hard for me. So like unless I sit here and look into it, could not tell you off the top of my head. So this is more your alley with albums.
I would also
But
like to put because I forgot to, Ariana Grande's fucking Positions album can also be
mm,
nominated for worst album of the year. But yeah, Jared, we have one final category for music. Would you like to go ahead and go over song of the year?
yes. So our song of the year nominees are going to start with "Bloody Valentine" by MGK. We then have "Hand Me Down" by Mac Miller, as well as "Good News" by Mac Miller. And then we go back to MGK with "Forget Me Too." And then we're going to spice it up with a little bit of "One Margarita" by Luke Bryan. Also was technically a single album, but it doesn't matter. It was a good song. We then have Post Malone with "Circles," and then "A Thousand Bad Times" also by Post Malone. And our winner for Song of the Year is "Bloody Valentine" by MGK.
Yeah, I out of all these, like I feel like I haven't heard the Luke Bryan one. I know you said it's pretty good.
Oh, dude. I'll talk about it in a minute.
I think country songs are hard to give song of the year for. What I
Mhm.
like about Bloody Valentine is pop punk has been dead for 8 to 10 years now. I think since My Chemical Romance left, like stopped making music, like and Blink 182 really fell off and shit. Like it's been
Yeah.
hard for that genre to like make it back into the mainstream. And Bloody Valentine like came out by MGK, give him credit, and I feel like he made a lot of people fans of the pop punk genre and brought it to the mainstream again.
Oh, I
So
can see
I
that, yeah.
think like importance also goes into song of the year, and I think Bloody Valentine is the most important for what it's done for that genre that it's in. Um, but yeah, go ahead and talk about One Margarita.
So before I talk about that, I just want to mention Post Malone because Post Malone's one of those artists who personally I never really listened to, or I don't even say not cared about, but I really didn't care about any of his music before this year. And his songs, mostly "A Thousand Bad Times," actually got me listening to him. So that's one of the big reasons he's on our nominee list for Song of the Year is because he had songs that like pulled me into listening to him and like liking his music more than I did before, which was basically not at all. Um, but yeah, One Margarita. It's obviously Damien pointed out. It stands out in our Song of the Year nominee list as one of the only country songs that we have in here. Actually, like one of the country mentions we have other than the album. And the reason that it's in here, and I know Damien said he hasn't listened to it, but the reason I made a case for it, the reason it's on our list here, is because it was released in the summer, and it was kind of a I forget how to I shouldn't say forget. I don't really know how to put it, but I'll explain it this way. There was a thing I saw on the TV right before the CMAs came out, and they were talking about country songs that came out this year, obviously. And one of the big ones that they brought up was One Margarita by Luke Bryan. And they talked about how, well, Luke Bryan talked about himself, about how this was one song that they decided to release, even though they weren't really planning on it, because it was like a happy kind of song, like a good vibes, uplifting song, like a party song that they felt they should release this year specifically, because a lot of people were down in the dumps for the summertime. Like you weren't allowed to go out and do as much as you normally could because of COVID. So one of the huge reasons this song was as popular or got as popular as it did is because it was one of those songs you could listen to and it just like it put you in a good mood. It wasn't like some of these other country songs. And I think Kelsey Ballerini had one that was out where it was like slow paced, kind of a sadder tone to it. So it was one of those ones that it really had a good chance to be song of the year because of the way they released it and the time they released it. So that was the reasoning behind that. You know, our one of our country songs in the song of the year nominees.
Yeah.
But,
So now it's time for movies. We'll kind of do the. I don't think did I do a worst? I did not. So we'll just kind of go down. So like I said with the movies, not a lot came out, but there were some good ones. So I'll start off with best director. You have Christopher Nolan for Tenet, Lee Wannell for The Invisible Man.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes.
Okay.
Dean Parasit for Bill and Ted 3. Max Barbacow for Palm Springs, and then Spike Lee for The Five Bloods. And the winner is Christopher Nolan for Tenet. I think out of all the movies that came out this year, I think Christopher Nolan did the best job directing, especially for Tenet. The movie's mixing is a little weird, but I think with the story and everything that he, like, because you didn't see Tenet yet, did you?
I have not.
Okay, no. So the way the story like intertwines and how this concept of like time moving backwards and having to solve it, like it's a really good movie. It's not Nolan's best, but it's definitely the best of this year, which basically is every year that he releases a film, it's probably the best one. I think I did a ranking like the day or two after Tenet came out, ranking all the Nolan films, and I think
you did.
I think I put this one 6th or 7th out of 14. So it's in the middle of the pack.
So
it's
average.
Yeah. It's no Interstellar. It's no
fuck no.
It's no Memento. It's no Dark Knight. But yeah, it's pretty good. Would you like to carry on, Jared, with the next category?
Yes, I would. I also, before we move on from the directors, I would just like to say, kind of we mentioned it earlier, obviously, but I'm just going to say it again. Like, understand that this year, because of what's going on in the world, because of COVID, the movies section is going to be lackluster, and I just want to say it because I feel like it sounds boring, just because the way we literally went through them so quickly, because there's so much less to go. Like, there's not as much. It kind of sucks. So, you know, I don't know. Stay with us because we're trying to do the best we can with what limited movies we have.
The games won't be a lot better. Games haven't stopped.
Fuck yeah, well, absolutely. And I feel bad because I really enjoyed doing the movies last year, and it sucks. I feel like it sucks right now doing so little with movies, especially how much we like movies. Like, we did what we could with the Halloween special movies, but yeah, just I don't know. And we'll go on. So next we've got Best Actor / Actress, and our nominees for this are John David Washington for Tenet. We've got Elizabeth Moss for The Invisible Man, Chris Pratt and Onward, Tom Hanks with Greyhound, and then lastly, Martin Lawrence with Bad Boys for Life. And our winner for this category, Best Actor / Actress, is going to be John David Washington from Tenet.
Yeah, he's a character with no name. I feel like second place would be to Elizabeth Moss and The Invisible Man. I just don't think that movie's
very good.
Yeah, that movie was just not as good as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence, I think, deserves a lot of credit, like for him coming back, doing Bad Boys, and him still being super funny.
Absolutely.
And Tom Hanks, I think any movie he does, he's fucking phenomenal in. But yeah, John David Washington, I think killed it in that spy thriller that Tenet is. But moving on, we'll talk a little bit about the movies coming up in this next category. Best concept, so kind of the best idea for a movie. We have The Platform, Tenet, Onward by Pixar, and The Lodge. And our winner for this one is also Tenet. I think, like we said before, the way Christopher Nolan tells the story and shows how complicated, or how, like with Tenet, the idea is so complicated with time, like it moving backwards and people moving forwards at the same time, and how like their realities can intersect. That's a lot for people to like take in, and I feel like he did the best job you could do with that kind of idea. And for what Tenet is, and I know there's a lot of problems with Tenet, the scope and the idea of Tenet is the best we've seen this year. It is Inception, just not as crazy. The Platform's a movie everyone should watch. It's one of those movies that makes you think, because the way it works, to kind of set up the movie for you, I forget how much money you get paid, but you go into this big building and there's I think it's 300 floors, okay? And every month you go to a new floor. You could start off on the top at room 1, or you could be all the way at the bottom at platform 300, okay? And once a day, in the middle of the room is a big hole, and you can look all the way down to the end, to the bottom of the platform, or to the building. And once a day, they put all this food onto a platform that hovers down to each room. Okay. There is no limit to how much you eat. So what I love about this movie is it makes you think about what would you do in that situation, because you may be on the last floor and you're going to get no food. And then you may the next month be on, room number 1 all the way at the top, and now you can eat all the food.
Yeah.
And what's nice about the movie is you can kill people. You can ride the platform. You can go down and steal people's food, kill them so that nobody else can steal food. So you can do different things like that. So it's a good movie to like think on, and to think of what you want to do. Onward, Jared recommended. Probably the best animated film this year.
Oh, for sure.
And The Lodge is a good psychological horror movie. Onward's a very like uplifting movie, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's got, well, I shouldn't say uplifting, but it's got, being that it's a kids movie, it's got a very positive, uplifting tone. However, the story in certain parts is kind of like not depressing, but it's realistic.
Okay, that's fair. So our final category, Jared, would you like to take it away for movie of the year?
I shall indeed. So, movie of the year nominees, we've got Tenet, we've got Onward, we've got The Invisible Man, we've got Sonic the Hedgehog, and we've got Bill and Ted Face the Music.
I would like to say, next to Sonic the Hedgehog, I put that it was quite shocking that it turned out all right.
Well, I mean, when you get the entire internet to bully the company and making the movie into making it better, it should turn out
right.
Pretty good. But our winner for movie of the year is going to come out to be Tenet.
Yep, clean sweep for Tenet. I wish a lot of the movies like that were supposed to come out would have came out, like Black Widow and shit. Like maybe those could have been contenders. Probably not, but maybe. I know Wonder Woman comes out this year on Christmas Day, I believe.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, that's right. I think we were talking about that.
I'm just going to go ahead and say, go on a limb, that movie's not going to come anywhere close to Tenet. So, yeah, hopefully it's good, though. So, yeah, that is our movies and music awards show. Like I said, we'll have the Game Awards probably come out on Christmas Day, so you have something to listen to. That one would be more, if you're going to watch the, like, video version of that, like last year I put a lot of effort into, like, every time we would say nominee, I would show, like, a clip of the game. I'll probably be doing that again. We'll go more in details on the games that we're nominating. But we do have a few things to talk about before we let you go. We'll make this quick. So, Jared, would you like to talk about the link tree?
Yeah, so today, because of a strange revelation I had, decided to finally make a link tree for all of our social media and places you can find the podcast. So hopefully, we're going to be attaching it wherever you listen to the podcast. If we can attach the link, we're going to attach the link, letting you have instant access by tapping the link to all our social media platforms, which is going to be right now Instagram and Twitter. We might end up doing a Facebook at some point, but that's still kind of to be determined because I personally hate Facebook and I don't know if Damien wants to manage the Facebook. So we're going to see what happens with that. But yeah, on the link tree, it'll have, like I said, Instagram, Twitter, and then it's also going to have the locations for the podcast. So that's going to be YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and hopefully we'll be able to add the iTunes or Apple Podcast, whatever that official term is, into it as well. And then if you follow either Damien or I don't know if Damien will be doing one on his personal social media accounts, but on my personal social media accounts, I'll also have all the podcast stuff linked. So if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, it's got my personal plus all the podcast stuff. I'm sure Damien will probably do it eventually. But yeah, if hopefully by the time this is out, we'll have those on all the platforms so you guys can see it.
Yes.
Damien, you can go to the next part there.
So just as a reminder, make sure to leave questions for a Q&A if you have any. You can leave multiple questions because we may use multiple of yours. That'll probably be at the beginning of the year, so our first show of the year when we kind of recap everything on the first.
So it may be a month from now. So if you want to ask something like, "What'd you get for Christmas?" you could ask that because we're hopefully going to be recording after Christmas. So yeah, plan ahead. If you have more than one question, ask away. We would love to answer your questions. I think we've been both anticipating a Q&A for a while.
Yeah, so just hit us up on our Twitters. You can use that link tree to find us where we're at. You can send us. You can comment on the video on YouTube. You can comment on SoundCloud as well. Happy belated Thanksgiving once again. Hopefully it went well. And then finally, I would like to talk about Assassin's Creed. I finally finished that game. It took me 36 hours and 6 minutes to beat that game.
Holy shit.
So a very long game. And I will go ahead and it will be a nomination for Game of the Year. Obviously not gonna say who wins, but it's a nomination for Game of the Year. I think what I like so much about the game is that they allow you to build your character in a more RPG-ish way, where if I want to go melee focused, I can. If I want to do nothing but be stealthy, I can build my character for that. And that's really helpful. Now, it sucks that it's not really Assassin's Creed. It's just you're playing a Vikings game. But Ivor, the main character I play as the male, I really like him. I like the side characters. I think a lot of the side missions are very good. The ending of the game makes me excited for what's to come, which is what the game should do. If you haven't beat the ending, there'll be no spoilers, but the ending had me fucking going crazy because of everything that they kind of showed. So it's a great game. I paid $15 for it because I just bought the Ubisoft Plus thing. I'd recommend everyone do the same thing. It is worth $50 or $15. It's also worth $60. I don't use that lightly. A lot of games aren't worth $60 nowadays. But Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there's over 100 plus hours of content there for you. A lot of stuff you can go get and find. A lot of side missions that are good. And I think it's worth that full $60. But if you're going to play it and you don't want to spend $60, spend the $15. It's worth it.
Yeah, that might be something I end up doing. Who knows?
Yep. Cyberpunk next week, though. We're here, baby. 7 days. 7 days.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. More than likely 7 days, but it could get postponed.
They're out there. People are, dude. Fucking Best Buy has been sending people early copies already.
Really?
Like the collector's editions. Yeah, I was on r/gaming, and 4 or 5 people got their collector's editions early. Now I don't think they can play the game because I was reading one guy talk about when he put the disc in, it downloaded, but it said it wasn't ready yet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, to kind of with Cyberpunk. If you're playing it on PC, I recommend getting the game through GOG.com. It's what CD Projekt Red takes to you if you go to their website. What's nice about that is they get 100% of the profits, and then you don't have to download a launcher or play the game through a launcher. So let's say on December 9th, at 12 o'clock when the game comes out, if Steam servers are shut down, there's a possibility you couldn't play the game. So with that, you pay $60. They don't charge you tax, by the way, unlike Steam, because I forget the term, but it's not a good you can hold in your hands, right? A physical good. So I paid $59.99, and I don't have to worry about a launcher. It's downloaded right to my PC. When the game comes out, I can just click it and play, and Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red gets 100% of the profits. I think they deserve it. The game looks phenomenal. From everything I'm reading from the people who are actually playing it early, the game's phenomenal. I just cannot wait. Been waiting for this game since 2013. We are so fucking close.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. So in addition to talking about Cyberpunk, hopefully something we're kind of trying to plan. It may or may not happen, so just be aware of that. But we're thinking about trying to do a ranking of Christmas movies sometime in the coming weeks. Hopefully before Christmas. But if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Who knows? We might be busy. Something might come up. But we're going to try to do a ranking of Christmas movies. So yeah. Is there anything else you would like to say?
No, I think that's it. I would like to thank Rogue Energy for sponsoring the podcast. Once again, you can use code INNOVATE, INNOVATE, 10% off your order. Yeah, that's been it for us. Thank you guys for listening to the Conversation Colons podcast.
Have a good one, guys.